Hello and good evening. So, am I live? Am I live? Yes, I guess I am. Hello and good evening, everyone. So, good evening, good evening, good evening. So, as you can see, it's given behind me what we are going to discuss today. So, our discussion for the day is, it's a small company actually, not small person company, and OPC, that is one person company. So, before I start with this discussion, basically the focal point of this discussion is that I am going to teach you, or tell you rather, about the amendments that have come in the definitions of these two companies, and which is relevant for your December exams or November exams also. And along with that, we are going to discuss a few case studies also. So, hi friends, everyone, good evening. I am Nitika Bachhawat and we are going to discuss these two concepts today. Now, before I start with this, let me just tell you a little about the Unacademy platform. So, first of all, you can find my profile in the description box below, and you can just go to that link. You can follow me so that you can keep getting updates about my classes. Now, obviously special classes would be there, but we also have the plus courses which is available for which you have to take a subscription. Now, the subscription, we have two kinds of subscription. One is the plus subscription and the other is the iconic subscription. Obviously, the plus subscription, what is the benefit of actually joining the Unacademy platform? First, you get to watch the classes of all the educators on the platform. So, when you take the subscription, you get to watch the classes of all the educators, not just us, but all the educators. Plus, if let's say you have missed the class also, you also have this option of recorded classes, that is the backup which is available. In the iconic subscription, and yes, we do conduct tests and quizzes on a regular basis, which will just further enhance and improve your concepts of the subject. On the other hand, if you are taking up an iconic subscription, definitely you get all of this, but apart from that, you also get printed books and you get a discussion. There is a discussion channel which you can join, where you can have a discussion and also evaluated test series. So now, how would you get this subscription? You need to download the Unacademy app, and you can take up a subscription for CA Foundation alone, or you can also take up a subscription for Foundation and Inter, a combination. Now, when you take up the Foundation course, you have three subscriptions here. One is for 6 months, 12 months and 24 months, and you can see obviously how much. And if you use this code Yashas Live, you get a further 10% discount. On the other hand, if you are taking up a combo of CA, Foundation and Intermediate, then obviously the minimum is 12 months, because you are now appearing for Foundation and you want to continue with the Inter one. So in that case, obviously it's a subscription for 1 year minimum, and also you can take up a subscription for 24 months, that is 2 years. And this is for iconic subscription. As I said, in iconic subscription you also get the printed books. So for that, if you take up a normal plus subscription, for 6 months you need to pay 12,000, which comes to 2,000 per month. And if you take a combo of Foundation and Inter, it is a 12 months, that is 25,000, which comes to 2,083 per month. Not a bad deal. If you take up the iconic subscription, as I already told you, in iconic subscription you also get the printed books and also a discussion panel and also evaluated test series you have. So for that, 6 months is 25,000, which comes to 4,167 per month. And if you take up the 12 months, that is the combo of Foundation and Inter, for 12 months it is 49,500, which comes to 4,125 per month. And yes, you have mega prizes every Sunday. They have some combats for all the students, where if you want to take part of this, you need to use the code Yashas Live to uncode it and to unlock it. And oh my god, you have so many prizes. The first 3 ranks, you get a 1 year plus subscription For ranked 4 to 10, you get a 75% subscription. For 11 to 50, 50%, and from 51 to 225% scholarship. And and also apart from that, 200 lucky participants get a iPad mini, an Apple AirPod, a JBL speaker, or Amazon vouchers. That is if you get to be lucky enough, and we all are definitely, yeah, we should count ourselves lucky. So I hope you've understood everything about this subscription. Now at least you need to wish me a good evening before I proceed. Yes, what do you say? You at least need to wish me a good evening before we proceed. Correct or not? You need to wish me a good evening so that I feel that energy to proceed forward with the discussion. Yes? And would you be answering, or would you just be listening there, sitting there and listening, or would you be answering the questions? I don't know. I think there is some problem with my chat. I don't even get any chat. I don't know. So tell me, good evening, good evening. So finally I did get the chats. So good evening all of you. Good evening, good evening, good evening. So tell me, are you going to just sit there and listen, or are you going to be a little more participating and answer wherever you can? So which one? Yeah, definitely. Yeah, now it's right. I'm actually getting to see your messages. So I hope you all are studying very well. Full on studies going on. Yes. Yes. So tell me, are you going to participate, or you're just going to sit there and just listen? Participate or just listen? Seriously, you don't want to answer that question? Yeah, yes, you need to answer. Good evening all of you. So as I said that we are going to discuss a little about the amendments. We have already done the amendments, so in the class that had happened previously. So if you are from that class, I do not expect you to sit there, but I expect you to actually answer that. Yes, I want you to answer that. I don't know, many of you are asking, is it the first special class of law? No, we have already had it on the Unacademy app. Here it is the first one. Anyway, it doesn't make a difference. It's a new topic. So even if you are attending it for the first time, really doesn't make a difference. So as I said, in this discussion, apart from telling you about what exactly is an OPC and a small company, we are going to discuss the amendments that have happened, and maybe also look into the reason behind why these amendments have happened. Okay. So tell me, this is Companies Act, yes, because it is OPC and small company. So we already know, I mean, when I ask OPC and someone says, what is an OPC? And someone would be like, oh ma'am, it's a one-person company. And you really know, I've already told you, if you've attended the classes, what is my reaction? I'm like the Buddha and you are my Bodhi tree. Remember Buddha and Bodhi tree? Correct or no? Correct or not? The Buddha and the Bodhi tree. Actually, when someone says, yeah ma'am, it is a one-person company, I actually feel like I am enlightened. You are my Bodhi tree. So now what do we actually mean? Yeah, but to be very honest, when I say one-person company, Section 2, Clause 62 of the Companies Act actually gives this definition. It actually gives this definition. It says a one-person company is a company which has only one member. Please understand, the definition is only telling me, not which has minimum one member, which has only one member. So be very careful. It doesn't mean that I have a minimum, where in case of a private or a public company, it is minimum 2 and minimum 7. Here it is not minimum 1. It is which has only one person, which has only one person as a member. So there is only one member. We have only one member in an OPC. Can you actually tell me what was the purpose behind an OPC? Why did the lawmakers introduce? Do you know which was the first country which came up with this concept of OPC? Why OPC? Can you tell me? It is for December batch, and it doesn't make a difference, right? It is for whichever batch. It is for the syllabus, so it's there. So can you tell me why an OPC, or I would like to listen to the answers from you rather than me giving the answers. So why an OPC, as I said, or which was the first country which actually introduced the concept of OPC, and how did we incorporate OPC? Okay, Jashwant says it's limited liability. Okay, so the basic difference between a sole proprietorship and an OPC is that I get to have a limited liability. Okay, anything else? Anything else? Anything else? They wanted, see, for the other types of businesses, like for a partnership, they had already come up with this concept of private company. A more upgraded or a more extended version was a public company. But for a sole proprietor, the sole proprietor had no options of making a corporate structure other than by taking at least one more, member, right? Because private company, okay. So private company basically, so thank you Kirti, thank you Vishnu, thank you Ujma for your answers. So taking on all whatever they have said, taking on whatever we have, they have said about this. So if we take up, actually the other forms of businesses, that is partnership, was actually getting the concept of private company, or more extended or elaborate version of a public company was there. But a sole proprietor never had this option at all. So they wanted this sole proprietor to actually go for a corporate structure. And if the only option left for a corporate structure to go for a sole proprietor to go for a corporate structure was to make a private company. And to make a private company, I need minimum 2 members. So in 2005, the JJ Irani committee, they suggested that we should have a concept of OPC, so that even a single owner can enjoy the benefit of a corporate structure, and it would be like a company, but a little lesser hassles than a company would be there, a little lesser formalities than a company would be there. So with this concept, they came up with an OPC. However, in the 1956 Act, it was never introduced, but when the 2013 Act was made, then they incorporated this concept of OPC in the Act. Do you know which country was the first one to actually incorporate the concept of OPC? Huh? Any clue about which company actually had this, which country was the first country to have this concept of OPC? Any clue? And in fact, when I'll tell you about the case law, you'll be like, oh yes, I know the case. In the case of Solomon versus Solomon and Company Limited in UK, first time they talked about the concept of this OPC. The first time the concept of OPC was incorporated in UK in this case of Solomon and Solomon Company Limited, right? Solomon versus Solomon and Company Limited. You all obviously must have heard about this case, studied this case also if you have studied Companies Act. So anyway, in this case, they incorporated the concept of OPC. Then after that, USA was the next one. Then even China, UAE, Pakistan, they all had OPCs. So as I said, in the year 2005, the JJ Irani committee, they suggested that we should have an OPC, and in fact they gave this whole paper where they submitted that we should have different classifications of companies, where classification on the basis of size, that is a small company, was introduced. And this is how later the subject is law, the topic is Companies Act, where we are going to discuss OPC and small company with the amendments for your exams of December. So this was how later they incorporated the concept of OPC. Now if I look at the definition, it is just nothing but an extended version of one person company. So I actually do not get anything or any idea about what exactly is an OPC. So, companies incorporation rules. Now, please understand, it is not given under the Act. Who can form an OPC, who cannot be a member of OPC, all this is not given under the Act. All of this is given under the Companies Incorporation Rules 2014. Right? All this is given under the Companies Incorporation Rules 2014. When I was teaching you Companies Act, you have attended, I told you how the rule is written. The name of the rule always appears in the bracket, companies outside, rules outside. And the name of that specific rule is always given in the bracket. And that is why it is Companies Incorporation Rules 2014, where incorporation is in bracket. Now, the Companies Incorporation Rules tells us every detail about an OPC. Right? It tells us about every detail about an OPC. Now, let us just, let us just take a few, a few situations, and you tell me, what do you think what can happen in that case? So, I want an answer from all of you. So, you tell me what you think could be the case in this. So, let us say, I have decided to incorporate an OPC. So, can I, right, my name is Nitika, I am an Indian, can I start an OPC? So, let us say my first question is, me, that is Nitika, I want to start an OPC in India. Can I do this? Can I do this? Can I do this? Can I form an OPC? Can I form an OPC? See, maybe you have not studied, it's okay. I am just asking you to tell me what you think. It could be right or wrong. The best thing about human is we have the privilege of making errors. So, it's absolutely okay if we make an error, right? So, it is absolutely okay if your answer is wrong. Okay, you say yes. Sindhu says yes. What about the others? What do you say? Yes, yes, yes. Okay. That is okay. But I am just asking, can I think about making an OPC? Can I think about making an OPC? Okay. Okay, I can. Okay. Now tell me, let's just take a situation. X Limited and Y Limited. Okay. X Limited and Y Limited, they want to start a private company by the name of XY Private Limited, right? X Limited and Y Limited, they want to start a private company by the name of XY Private Limited. Can they start a company? Like, can two companies form a single company? You tell me, can two companies form a single company? Can two companies form a single company? X Limited and Y Limited, they want to start XY Private Limited. So, my question is, can two companies form a single company? I said no, to err is human. It's okay if it is wrong, if it is right. Right, you will be happy. Wrong, no problem. Next time we'll try better. Yes, okay. See, the Companies Act says we need minimum 2 persons and minimum 7 persons to start a private and a public company, correct? So, can two companies form a company? Can two companies form a company? Yes or no? Yes. Two companies can form a company. Yes, they can. Now my question is, can X Limited form an OPC? Obviously in India, we are always talking about in India. Can X Limited form an OPC in India? Maybe no. Okay. Maybe no. Maybe yes. Maybe no. Maybe no. Okay. So, Mr. Alex, can Mr. Alex, who is an, no, this is not amalgamation. This is not amalgamation. They are just forming another company where they are the members. These companies are just the members of a third company. So that can happen. Now let us say Mr. Alex, and he is from London. Okay, Mr. Alex, he is from London and he wants to form an OPC in India. Can he form an OPC in India? Mr. Alex, who is from London, wants to form an OPC in India. Can he form an OPC in India? Can he form an OPC in India? Come on, you need to be a little quick. Yes or no? Can Mr. Alex from London form an OPC in India? Yes, no. Don't forget to err is human. No. Okay. Now, only a natural person. Now, when I say person in law, a person and natural person are two different things in law, right? Person includes artificial person also, right? So, when I say person in law, it includes an artificial person also. So, even a company, a body corporate, or any association of persons or body of individuals, they are all considered as persons, right? So when we say person in law, it is not just you and me, it also includes artificial person. However, the rules very specifically say for an OPC, not for other companies, for an OPC it very specifically says that only a natural person. What is a natural person? You and me. We are natural person. When I say company, company is not a natural person. But you and me, we are natural persons, right? So, well, someone has answered something. I'll just get back to your statement. I want to discuss this statement. So, only a natural person who is an Indian citizen, right? Who is an Indian citizen. So, if I go back to this, can Nitika, who is an Indian citizen, yes, I am an Indian citizen, okay, can she form an OPC in India? Can she form an OPC in India? Yes. Can X Limited form an OPC in India? No, because X Limited is not a natural person. Because X Limited is not a natural person. Mr. Alex, who is from London, can he form OPC in India? Can he form OPC in India? No. Why? Because he is not an Indian citizen. So, only a natural person who is an Indian citizen can form a what? OPC in India. Now, someone wrote here, he can start with an Indian businessman. So, let me tell you, this is an OPC. So, if I start with an Indian businessman, means we are two members. And if we are two members, it cannot be an OPC. Correct or not? Inspiration, motivation and experiment video. Oh my god, I just hope you tell me your name please. Correct or not? He's or she, whoever it is, says that he can start with an Indian businessman. But when I start with an Indian businessman, please understand, it is no longer an OPC then, because OPC only has one member. Correct? Did you understand this part? So only a natural person who is an Indian citizen. Now here there is an amendment. What is the amendment here? Earlier it was mandatory that the person should also be a resident of India. Here there is an amendment. Earlier it was mandatory that the person should also be a resident of India. However, now resident of India, thank you Suraj, resident of India is no longer mandatory. So what they have done is, earlier it was only a natural person. I hope you have a book in front of you. Your foundation or inter, this is even applicable for inter. However, I hope you have your book, foundation book in front of you, and I want you to make those relevant changes in your book, please, so that when you are studying, you know what is the change, right? So only earlier it was only a natural person who is an Indian citizen and a resident of India can form an OPC. However, now they have made a change. Right? Now they have made a change, whether resident in India or not. So now it is not mandatory. Now it is not mandatory that the person has to be a resident in India. Now it is not mandatory that the person has to be a resident in India. That means even an NRI, can form an OPC in India. I hope it is clear. So no, it cannot. It can start a private or a public company, but it cannot start an OPC. One company cannot start another OPC, right? So I repeat again, please make the changes in your notes. Earlier it was resident of India, but now it is whether resident in India or not. Please make that change. Whether resident, so that means now even an NRI can form an OPC in India. Can be a member, incorporate, eligible to incorporate means can be a member or a nominee for an OPC. Now we will go into the concept of nominee, but before we go into that, what is resident of India? This is the next amendment. Earlier, resident in India meant that 182 days in the immediately preceding financial year. That is, you have stayed in India for at least one. I hope you all know the difference between year and financial year. Do you guys know the difference between year and financial year? Do you guys know the difference between year and financial year? No, the shares of a OPC cannot be transferred to a company, because as I said again, it would again be a company holding an OPC. That cannot happen, right? Do you know the difference between year and financial year? Come on, difference. Yes, April to March. In law, if the word only year is used, it's oops. In law, if only the word year is used, it's a calendar year, right? Whereas in law, if it is the financial year, it means it is April to March, correct? Correct. So, in the immediately preceding financial year, if you have stayed in India for at least 182 days, right, for at least 182 days, then we consider you as a resident of India. However, now they have cancelled this 182 days to 120 days. You know what, these all were introduced in this whole budget thing, right? You know, in that you must have seen the budgets also. And the reason they made these changes was they wanted more OPCs coming up. The government wants corporate structures of business more, because they have a little more control on a corporate structure than on a sole proprietorship. And to make it convenient for the people to form OPCs, they converted it that from 182 days, let us just make it to 120 days. However, now even an NRI can make a OPC, so it is basically, but yeah, if you are an Indian citizen and a resident of India, then in that case, to open an OPC, you must have stayed in India for at least 120 days in the immediately preceding financial year. So in the book you will see it is given 182 days. I would want you to please cut that 182 days and write 120 days. Please cut that and write 120 days. So here only we have two amendments. First is it was resident in India, but now it is what? Whether resident in India or not. And the second amendment is earlier it was 182 days, but now it is 120 days. I hope you followed the amendment, both the amendments you followed so far. Yes? I hope you followed both the amendments and you've marked it also. Kindly mark it in your book, please. All of you, whichever book you are following, please mark the amendments in your book. Now, why the concept of a nominee? Why the concept of a nominee? Whenever I open an OPC, right, whenever I incorporate an OPC, I have to mention Ujma, I'm sorry, I did not get what you have written, like what you want me to tell you. I did not get it. I'm sorry. You open your OPC. Have you got the OPC page you have in front of you, your OPC? You want me to tell you where to make the changes? Are you saying that? Ujma, I'm sorry, but I'm not getting you. Are you telling me that I should tell you where to make the changes? Is it that? So now why the concept of a nominee? Now whenever a person incorporates an OPC, the memorandum of the OPC must contain the name of a person. This person is the nominee. And what is the purpose behind putting the name of this person as a nominee? That tomorrow, if anything happens to the member, right, the nominee will become the member of the OPC. That is in case of death or incapacity of the member. In case of, yes, please make the corrections anywhere, whichever book you are following, whichever notes you are following, make the changes there itself. For the students who have already attended the Companies Act class for foundation, I have already made the amendments for you all. I have taught you with the amendments. For the others, please make the amendments in your module. You have the module, the ICI module, or any other book that you are referring to, right? So please make the changes in that module, in that notes material, whatever, right? I hope you all have made those changes, whatever I said. The one in blue are the changes. The one in blue are the changes that were happened in the section, in the rule, sorry. Yes, it will be repeated. Here we are doing a little more of the discussion part also, but yes, it will be repeated in the class when you have the classes. Now coming to the next part, so coming back to nominee. So in case of death or incapacity of a member of the OPC, the nominee shall become the member of the OPC. Ma'am, so why do we need to write the name of a nominee? The legal heirs can become, no ma'am. Let us say there are 5 legal heirs. He has this person, he has one wife, oops, I'm sorry, wife will be one only. His wife and his 4 sons. So basically he has 5 legal heirs and they all are fighting. The OPC is mine, the OPC is mine, the OPC is mine. Literally they are fighting. By the time final decision is made that who will get the OPC will only be Swaha. Nothing will be left of the OPC because so many months they will fight. So by the time, right, they actually come to get the OPC, any one of them gets the OPC is only Swaha, gone, Khattam, finish. So because for other companies we have 2 or more members, right, or 7 or more members. So even if one is Swaha, the others can continue. But here to only one. So by the time the legal heirs decide, gone, Khatam. So that is why we mention the name of a nominee. I hope it's clear to everyone. I hope it's clear to everyone. Yes. So I repeat again, this person shall be, so this person's name, that is the nominee name, shall be given so that tomorrow if the member is dead or incapacitated. Incapacitated means what? Coma, paralysis. This is incapacitated. Ma'am, he had a scratch here, ma'am. He put a band-aid here, ma'am. Incapacitated. Like seriously, that is not incapacitated. So if he is incapacitated, the nominee becomes the member. So I repeat this whole page again. So this is given under the rules, not the act. Only a natural person who is an Indian citizen, whether resident in India or not, shall become a member or a nominee of the OPC. And a person shall be considered as a resident of India if he has stayed in India for at least 120 days in the immediately preceding financial year. Is it clear to everyone? Is it clear? Yeah, Pratham, finally I say Swaha. Huh? Yes, they can continue, they can wind up, they can sell, they can do whatever they want. Can we move to the next part now? I hope this part was clear to everyone. I hope this part was clear to everyone. Acha, tell me one thing. Can I just put your name as a nominee without even asking you? Can I just put your name as a nominee? All of you answer, tell me. Can I just put your name as a nominee without even asking your permission or getting your consent? Because Suraj, to maintain that residential status, you need to stay minimum some days in India, right? Only then you become a resident of India. Like Income Tax Act also, when you will do, if you are an Indian resident, it is mandatory for you to maintain that residential status that you should stay in India for a particular few days. which is 182 days or more. In this act, to maintain that status that you are a resident of India, you have to stay for 120 days in India. You cannot know, I am an Indian resident, but the whole year I am staying in London, UK, or Dubai somewhere. Then am I a resident of India? No. So to get that resident of India, I need to spend some minimum days in India. Only then I get the criteria of resident in India. I hope it's clear. Huh? I hope it's clear. So exactly as you said, I cannot just put your name. Suddenly one day police will come. Ting tong, yes, we have come to arrest you. For what, sir? Your OPC is doing all illegal activities. You were the nominee, now you are the member. Hey? Which OPC? I don't have an OPC. No, you are the member of an OPC. Le. I am not even aware that I am a member of an OPC. Do you think it is valid? Do you think it is correct? Do you think it is correct? No. So, whenever I mention the name of a nominee, I must get his written consent. Correct? And this written consent shall be filed with the, you remember I told you, God, everything good, bad, whatever I do, I tell him. Right? Whatever I do, good, bad, everything I tell him. So this written consent will be filed with the registrar. So I have to get the written consent of the nominee, and this written consent will be filed with the registrar. I hope this is clear to everyone. Acha, tell me one thing. I opened an OPC and I named you as my nominee. Okay. Later you realize, ayo, ma'am's OPC is a waste, full on waste. Can you take back your nomination? I appoint you as a nominee. You gave your consent also for my OPC. After a few months, you realize, your ma'am's OPC is a total crap waste. You want to take back your nomination. Can you withdraw your nomination? Can you withdraw? Yes. I mean, how can I force you? So, can the nominee withdraw his nomination? Yes. And tell me, can I say, after he withdraws his nomination, after you withdraw your nomination, I have to now search for another nominee, correct or not? Can I say I now have to search for another nominee, get his written consent and do all the formalities, file it with the registrar, correct or not? Yes, so if the nominee withdraws his nomination, then the member has to appoint someone else as a nominee, get his written consent, file it with the registrar and put his name in the memorandum. Correct? Now vice versa case. I put your name as a nominee. I put your name as a nominee. Correct? I put your name as a nominee. Now after naming you as my nominee, I realized, oh my God, you are a waste fellow. Not me waste, you are a waste fellow. I say, yo, let me change my nomination. Can I change the nomination? Can I take your name? Can I take your name away from the nomination? After appointing you as a nominee, I realize you are a waste fellow. Can I change the nomination? Yes or no? Even the member may change the nominee. So it's both way. You find me waste, I can also find you waste, right? It is not that only you can find me waste. And in that case, I will select someone else as my nominee. And again, the same procedure. I will take his written consent, file it with the registrar and put his name in the memorandum. Is this clear to everyone till this point? I think you must have learned the whole thing by now, OPC. Yes or no? Is it clear to everyone? Yes. Now, when they made OPC, the intention was that every person, no, I am not a Tamilian. But teaching in South India for so long that I have that Ayyo word is to you're getting my point? That Ayyo word is normal for me. It is just okay. I can use it for after every sentence, I guess. Yeah, that's great. That's great. So now when they started when they started this whole OPC concept, when they introduced the concept, even before it was incorporated in the act, they actually wanted it that a person can make 3 OPCs. That is, a person can incorporate 3 OPC. But finally, when the act was laid down, no, they said only 1. So I can open 1 OPC. That is, I can be a member. That is, I can incorporate 1 OPC. And at that same time, I can be a nominee of 1 more OPC. But not more than 1. So I can be a member of 1 OPC, and at the same time I can be a nominee of another OPC, but only 1. Are you getting this point? No, I am not even a Bengali. I am from Calcutta, but I am not a Bengali. So now I repeat again, a person can start 1 OPC, that is, be a member of 1 OPC, and at the same time he can be a nominee of another OPC. So he shall not be a member of more than 1 OPC, and the said person, so I am talking about this person only, not be a nominee of more than 1 OPC. I hope it is clear. Now let us understand this. What am I trying to tell? Let us say Nitika, she started 1 OPC. Can she be a member of 1 OPC? Yes? Yes. Now Nitika's brother opened another OPC. Nitika's brother opened another OPC and he said that, I want you to be my nominee. Right? So Nitika started 1 OPC and Nitika's brother had another OPC and he said, Didi, I want you to be my nominee. So can Nitika be member of OPC 1 and nominee of OPC 2? This I want answer from everyone. Whoever is there, I want an answer from everyone. Yes or no? Can she be a member and nominee at the same time? Yes, but only 1. Now another of Nitika's brothers started another OPC and he says, I also want you to be my nominee. Can she be the nominee of the third OPC? That is the second nominee for this OPC 3. Can she be a nominee of another OPC? So Nitika was a member of 1 OPC. She was a nominee of another OPC. Now another of her brother wants to become her a nominee of 1 more OPC. Can she be? Can she be? Can she be the nominee of OPC 3 also? No. Because I can be a member of 1 OPC only and at the same time nominee of only 1 OPC. Not more than 1 OPC. So I can be a member of 1 OPC and at the same time a nominee of 1 more OPC, but not more than 1. So can she be a nominee of OPC 3? No. Did you understand? All of you who said yes, did you understand? Or maybe it was because of, I think there is a lag. I think there is a few seconds lag, right? So might be you had said for the previous one. So is it clear? Yes. So I repeat the point again. A natural person shall not be a member of more than 1 OPC and the said person shall not be a nominee of more than 1 OPC. I hope it's clear to everyone. Yes. Now let us take a situation. Let us say Mr. Ram, he started an OPC, okay, and he had a brother, Mr. Shyam, and Mr. Shyam started another OPC. Can they do so? Mr. Ram, he started 1 OPC and Mr. Shyam, his brother, who is Mr. Shyam? Brother of Mr. Ram. He started another OPC. Can they do? Can they do? Can they do this? Can we do this? Yes or no? Now, Mr. Ram, for his OPC, he made Mr. Shyam as a nominee. Is it possible? So, for OPC 1, Mr. Ram made Mr. Shyam his nominee. Is it possible? Is it possible that Mr. Ram makes Mr. Shyam his nominee? Is it possible? Is it possible at all? Yes or no? Yes, it is possible. Right? Now what happens is, in my law classes, the only thing that I actually do is swaha. God save me. How much sin I have committed, only I know. Now Mr. Ram is, God forbid, anyway. God help me. Mr. Ram is swaha. So when Mr. Ram is swaha, what happens to Mr. Shyam? What happens to Mr. Shyam now? When Mr. Ram is swaha, what happens to Mr. Shyam? Can I say Mr. Shyam now has 2 OPCs? Can I say Mr. Shyam has now got 2 OPCs? Correct or not? One OPC 2 because he incorporated it, one OPC 1 because he was a nominee and the member is dead. Now can I say Mr. Shyam is a member of more than one OPC? Can I be a member of more than one OPC? Can I be a member of more than one OPC? Can I be a member of more than one OPC? Yes or no? Exactly. I cannot be, because law only tells me one. But here I am becoming a member of 2 OPCs. And why am I becoming a member of the second OPC? Can I say only because of nomination? Can I say a person is becoming a member of the second OPC? He cannot incorporate a second OPC. He can become a member of the second OPC only because of nomination. Correct or not? So, if a person becomes a member of more than one OPC by virtue of nomination, that is, he becomes a member of more than one OPC only because he was a nominee of the second. He cannot incorporate the second OPC. So, the reason he is becoming a member of the second OPC is because he was a nominee by virtue of nomination. Can he continue with both? Can he continue with both? No. No. So, if he becomes a member of more than one OPC because of nomination, then in that case, within 180 days, he must, it is 180 days. If anywhere you see 182 days, some places it's written 182, it's not 182, it is 180 days. Within 180 days, he must select any one OPC. Rather, the Act says he must fulfill the requirements of the Act. That is, select one OPC. Ma'am, what will he do with the second one? He can sell it, he can wind it up, he can give it to the nominee, anything. But he should select any one OPC, because I cannot be a member of more than one. So, if a person becomes a member of more than one OPC, and that can only happen because he was a nominee of the second OPC, then in that case, within 180 days, see, I said 182 is not correct. Within 180 days, he must select any one OPC. Tell me, instead of 180 days, can I write 6 months? So, in that case, within 180 days, he must fulfill the requirements of the Act. That is, he can sell off the second OPC, or he can give it to the nominee, or he can, wind it up, do whatever, but he cannot continue. Correct? Is it clear? So, now tell me, so yes, you can do whatever you like. That is totally your choice. Okay, that is totally your choice. Now, if a member of an OPC becomes a member in another OPC, and that, as I said, can happen only because of nomination, right? By virtue of nomination, he shall within a period of 180 days select any one OPC. Clear? Right? Now tell me, can a minor be a member or a nominee of an OPC? Without looking here. You think and tell me, can a minor be a member? No. One member, he is managing the OPC. How can we let that person be a minor, right? So, obviously he cannot be a member. What about a nominee? Huh? Can a minor be a member or a nominee of an OPC? No, not even nominee. Not even nominee. But ma'am, my son, he is 15-year-old. Ma'am, I want him to be my nominee. Ma'am, my son is 15-year-old. Ma'am, I want him only. Are Baba, even if he is 17 years, 6 months, he cannot be. Even if he is 17 years, 6 months, he cannot be. Then ma'am, what will I do? You appoint someone else as your nominee, and once the minor is a major, you can change the nomination. But you cannot make a minor a nominee. The reason being, if the member is Swaha and the nominee is a minor, who will take up the OPC? Correct? So, a minor cannot be a member or a nominee of an OPC. Correct? All of you clear? Clear? Now listen carefully. Think. This is something which you have to think from your brain. Okay? Can I say OPC is a corporate form for a sole proprietorship? Can I say OPC is just a corporate form for a sole proprietorship? Yes or no? Can I say OPC is a corporate form for a sole proprietorship? Yes? Okay. All of you, please answer. See, the more you will answer, the more you will participate. No, you are in it. You are in the video. You are in the class. And your concepts will be more clear. Since you are sitting here, at least we need to answer, right? So tell me, can I say OPC is just a corporate version of sole proprietorship? And can I ever start a sole proprietorship with the motive of not earning profit? Can I ever start a sole proprietorship business with the motive of not earning profit? Is it possible? Is it possible to start a sole proprietorship not to earn profit? No. The motive of a sole proprietorship is always, the business is always to earn profit. Correct? We don't start a sole proprietorship business for charity, right? That is rare event. Those will be Section 8 companies. But a sole proprietorship is always. So when I make an OPC, will the motive of an OPC ever be a charitable purpose? No. And in fact, the Act only says that you will never start an OPC with the motive of not earning profit. So the Act only says that you cannot incorporate an OPC for a non-profit, or you cannot convert an OPC into a non-profit company. The motive of an OPC is always to earn profit. So an OPC cannot incorporate as, right? An OPC cannot incorporate as or convert into. An OPC cannot incorporate as or convert into a what? Into a Section 8 company. Section 8 company is a non-profit company. Okay. A Section 8 company is a non-profit company. So such company cannot be incorporated or converted into a company under Section 8 of the Act. A Section 8 company is a non-profit company. Right? Such company cannot register as a non-banking financial company. It cannot carry on non-banking financial activities. What is a non-banking financial activity? It is basically you are not registered as a bank, but you carry on the same functions as that of a bank, like insurance, right? So it cannot carry on a non-banking financial, it cannot register as an NBFC, right? And nor can it invest in the securities of any other body corporate. That means its investments cannot be in the shares or debentures of other body corporates. So they have put these restrictions on an OPC. So what are the restrictions on an OPC? A member cannot be a member or a nominee of an OPC, or it cannot register as or convert into a Section 8 company. It cannot register as an NBFC. Now, earlier there was a restriction. On this, conversion of an OPC. They had put a restriction that up to 2 years of incorporation, okay, up to 2 years of incorporation, and OPC cannot convert into a private or a public company. And they had also put a restriction, however, if the paid up capital of an OPC exceeds 50 lakh or the turnover of the OPC exceeds 2 crore, then the OPC must convert, right? I repeat again, earlier they had a restriction on conversion. I am not going into the detailing because it is now removed. Earlier the provision was that an OPC cannot convert into a private or a public company for 2 years of incorporation. That is, if I want to convert into a private or a public company, 2 years is a lock-in period. Only after that I can convert. But at any given point of time, if my paid up capital exceeds 50 lakhs or if my paid up capital exceeds 50 lakh or my turnover exceeds 2 crore, I have to convert into a private or a public company. So if this happens even after 6 months, I had to convert. However, now they have removed this point altogether. To make it convenient for OPCs also to incorporate on a larger scale, they have removed the slab of paid up capital and turnover. So that the OPCs can work on a larger scale, they have now removed the concept of paid up capital and turnover slabs. There is no such slab anymore. So, and there is no restriction on conversion. So, even after 6 months, I can convert. I can have paid up capital which is more than 50 lakhs. I can have a turnover which is more than 2 crores. Is this clear to everyone? You would see this point is given in the book. I want you to remove this point from the book. Please cut that point, it is no longer applicable. Kindly cut that point, it is no longer applicable. Please cut that point. Did you get this point in the notes? Now it can convert easily, and now there is no restrictions on what should be the paid up capital or turnover. Please cut this point. Please cut this point that it cannot convert and the paid up capital or the turnover should not exceed this amount. Please cut off that. So basically there are 3 amendments in OPC. I hope all the 3 amendments are clear. Done, all of you? I hope you have cut it, yes. Now I want to discuss a few questions with you, a case study with you. Would you read and answer? Instead of me answering, would you answer this? Would you answer this question? Yes? No, you don't have to write or add anything to these lines. Please understand, these lines have been removed. Now you will cut this off and nothing will come in their place. Nothing will come in their place, okay? I guess everyone has finished. Yes. So Y incorporated an OPC, making his sister Z as a nominee. Z is leaving India permanently due to her marriage abroad. Due to this fact, she is withdrawing her consent. Now, earlier, she is leaving India permanently. Yes, so she's leaving India permanently. Under the old, whatever was given in the rules, she would have to withdraw. Correct or not? In fact, this question was asked in your exam, this July session only. Okay. So, as per the earlier act, okay, as per the earlier act, she would have to withdraw her nomination, because to be a nominee, she must be a resident of India. So, that was as per the old act. However, now it is not mandatory to be a resident of India. So, due to this fact, she is withdrawing her consent of the nomination in the said OPC. Taking into consideration, is it mandatory for Z to withdraw her nomination? They are asking, is it mandatory? No. No. Because an Indian citizen who is not a resident of India can also be a nominee. Is it clear or not? Is this clear or not? Yes. Now, second, can Z continue her nomination in the said OPC, if she maintained her status? Yes. She can continue her nomination irrespective of whether she maintains a residential status or not. Right? She can continue to be the nominee irrespective of whether she maintains her residential status or not. Is it clear to everyone? Is it clear to everyone? This class is only for today. It will get over today only. We'll answer one more question. What do you say? We'll answer one more question. Yes? We'll answer one more question. What do you say? Yes, because now there are changes, so now it is no. If earlier, before the change, the answer would have been yes, but now because of this change, the answer is no. Okay, chalo, then tell me the answer to this question. You are supposed to tell me, not me, okay? Tell me the answer to this question. Did you get the answer? So, Goodwill Electronics OPC incorporated on the 1st of July 2015 as an OPC with an authorized and paid up share capital of 40 lakhs, recorded turnover of 45 lakhs in the first 9 months ended and 135 lakhs during the next 9 months ended. Having seen the fast growing potential of his business in the ITES sector, Mr. Victor, promoter and sole director of the company, desires to make a further investment of 50 lakhs from his friends. He seeks your advice on the following. 1. No, he must convert. Whether Mr. Victor can issue shares to his friends without changing the constitution of the company. No. If you want to take up more than one member, you have to convert either into a private or a public company. Correct. If his friends desire to invest in the share capital of the company to help Mr. Victor expand the business, how he can make further issue of shares to his friends? Earlier there was a restriction that you cannot convert for up to 2 years, right? Earlier there was a restriction that you cannot convert for up to 2 years, but now that restriction is removed. So can we say that Mr. Victor can convert his OPC to a private or a public company? Correct or not? What happened, Ajma? You're so confused. Is it correct? Am I correct? Is this correct? No, I can also make mistakes. The privilege of being a human is to err, right? To err is human. Whether Mr. Victor can include 2 or 3 of his friends as a director of the company. This one I want you to answer. This one I want you to answer. Tell me. Whether he can take 2 or 3 of his friends as a director. Tell me fast. Yes. Remember, when we say members and directors, okay, in case of a public company we have minimum 7 members and we have minimum 3 directors. In case of a private company we have minimum 2 members and minimum 2 directors. When it comes to OPC, we have only 1 member, but we have minimum 1 director. So OPC cannot have more than 1 member, but an OPC can have more than 1 director. Did you understand? All those who had written no, did you understand? Did you understand? Whether Mr. Victor can include 2 or 3 of his friends as a directors of the company to support him in the management of the company. Yes. Members cannot be more than 1. But directors can be more than 1. The last person who has written no, you did not understand this, or you are giving the answer. If you are giving the answer, okay. If you did not understand, I'll explain again. So in case of an OPC, I can have minimum 1 director. That is, I can have more than 1 director also. Though number of members cannot be more than 1, but we can have directors who are more than, I can have more than 1 directors. I hope it's clear to everyone. I hope it is clear to everyone. Now, what is a small company? Okay, this is the size of my office. Am I a small company? This is the size of the... No. Now, this concept of a small company was actually introduced. This concept of a small company was actually introduced under the 2013 Act. And if I am a small company, what is the privilege that I enjoy? Or what happens if I become a small company? Well, the privileges, I have certain privileges as compared to other companies. For example, a normal company has to have 4 board meetings. But if I am a small company, I can only have 2 board meetings and it's okay. When I say financial statement means what? When I say financial statement, okay, Ajma, I'll just go to the first question at the end. Okay, I'll just go to the first part at the end because I've just started with it. So let me just finish it. I'll go back to the question again. So I repeat again. So when I say financial statement means what? Balance sheet, profit and loss account, cash flow statement, notes to equity, right? And notes to account, and statement of equity. However, if it is a small company, it need not prepare a cash flow statement, right? Then again what happened is that in case, what another privilege is, in case a company, every company has to prepare an annual return, and this annual return has to be signed by one director and one CS. And if the company does not have a CS, by a practicing CS, it will be signed. But if the company is a small company, right, if the company is a small company, then in that case, the signing can be done by anyone. It can be done by the CS, and if the company has not appointed a CS, any one director can sign the cash flow statement. Similarly, rotation of auditors does not apply. All those you will know when you come to Into. So these are the privileges, and such other privileges are enjoyed by a small company. So basically, small company, what happens if I become a small company? It is nothing but I enjoy few exemptions and privileges. And please understand, this is the size of my office, that is not a small company, right? Can I say OPC is a private company? Yes, OPC is a private company with only one member. Similarly, a small company is a private company. A public company, even if it fulfills these criteria that we will discuss, even if it fulfills these criteria, a public company will never get the status of a small company. Even if it fulfills these criteria, a public company will never get the status of a small company. And if it does not get the status, when I say it will never get a status of a small company, that means it will never enjoy the privileges of a small company. Even if it fulfills both the criteria, it will not enjoy the privileges of a small company, right? So basically, being a small company means what? I am enjoying certain privileges. Now, if I look at the first line of this definition as given in clause 85, the first definition of small company, the first sentence says, means any company other than a public company. That means what? Even if a public company fulfills these criteria, even if a public company fulfills these criteria, it will never enjoy the benefits of a small company. So when I say other than a public company, means it is always a private company which is a small company, correct? Now, to become a small company, you have to fulfill these two conditions. And if you fulfill these two conditions, you will become a small company and you get the privileges and exemptions. What are these two conditions? The first condition is that my paid up capital should not exceed. Now here there is an amendment. Here in red, whatever I have written, that is an amendment. In the books you will see it is given as 50 lakhs. Right? In the books if you will see, it is given as 50 lakhs, but now it is 2 crores. So please make that rectification in your book, cut that 50 lakhs and make it 2 crores. Are you getting my point? Cut that 50 lakhs and make it 2 crores. Now, if your paid up capital does not exceed 2 crore, it is 2 crores or less, you are a small company. If my paid up capital does not exceed, if my paid up capital is 2 crores or less, I get the status of a small company. But the definition is a little longer. What does it mean? Listen carefully. I hope you have made the rectification that 50 lakhs is now 2 crores. Please cut that 50 lakhs and make it 2 crores. Or such higher amount as may be prescribed, which shall not be more than 10 crores. What does this mean? Today, the figure is 2 crores. But tomorrow, if the central government feels, like earlier it was 50 lakh, and from 50 lakh, the central government has made it 2 crores. So, what this sentence means is that today, the amount is 2 crores. But tomorrow, if the government feels that I should increase this slab of 2 crores to a higher amount, you don't have to amend the act. I am giving the power to the government that government, you don't have to go to the act and amend it. I am giving you the power. Don't go to the act. You just make the amendment on your own by notifying the rule. But the maximum power that I give you is how much? 10 crores. For example, earlier this figure was 50 lakh. Okay. Earlier this figure was 50 lakh. Then in this budget they made this 50 lakh to 2 crore. So in exercise of the power which this section is giving, this section says to the government, if you want to increase the slab, you can. But the maximum power of increase is 10 crores. Now tell me, can they increase this 2 crores? Tell me, can they increase this 2 crores to 5 crores or 7 crores? Can they increase it to 5 crores or 7 crores? Or even maybe 9.75 crores or 10 crores? Can they do it? Okay, there is a lag, I guess, and I wanted the answer from you. Can they make it 5 crores, 7 crores or 10 crores? Or can they make it 12 crores? Can they make it 12 crores? Can they also make it 12 crores? Can they also make it 12 crores? Can they also make it 12 crores? Exactly, they can increase, no problem, but the maximum power of increase is how much? 10 crores, right? The maximum power of increase is how much? 10 crores. You cannot do this. Did you understand this? I guess it's clear to everyone. Yes, cannot do more than 10 crores. I hope it's clear. So the purpose of adding this line, we think, no, okay, this line is a waste. No, this line gives powers to the government, you can increase, but, and in that exercise of the power they increased it from 50 lakh to 2 crores, but in no case can you increase it more than 20 crores. I hope it's clear to 10 crores, sorry. I hope it's clear to everyone. And the second point to be fulfilled to become a small company is the turnover as per the PL of the immediately preceding financial year, right? The turnover as per the profit and loss account of the immediately preceding. So the year I am looking, immediately preceding year, if your turnover does not exceed 20 crores. Now if you look in the book, you will see 2 crores. Please make that 2 crores as 20 crores. If you will see in the book, you will see this as 2 crores. Please make this 2 crores as 20 crores. It is 20 crores now. So same thing, or such higher amount as may be prescribed which shall not be more than 100 crores. So the maximum power is 100 crores. Earlier it was 2 crores and now from 2 crores they have made it to 20 crores. Now from 2 crores they have made it to 20 crores. I hope it is clear to everyone. I hope it is clear to everyone. Yes. So I repeat again, what is a small company? A small company is any company other than a public company which has a paid up capital of not exceeding 2 crores or such higher amount as may be specified, not exceeding 10 crores, and turnover as per the PL of the immediately preceding financial year 20 crores or such higher amount as may be specified, not exceeding 100 crores. Did you understand this? Did you understand this? Did everyone understand this? Yes? Did everyone understand this? Yes? However, nothing in this clause shall apply to a holding company or a subsidiary company, a company registered under section 8, or a company or a body corporate governed by any special act like insurance, banking. So basically, even if they are private companies, okay, even if they are private companies, and even if they fulfill these 2 criteria also, even if they fulfill these two criteria also, they will still not be considered as a small company. They will still not be considered as a small company. I hope it is clear to everyone. I hope it is clear. So, a holding or a subsidiary company, a company registered under Section 8 or a company governed by Special Act, even if they are private company and they fulfill both the criterias, but they will still not be regarded as a small company. So, basically, they will not enjoy the privileges of a small company. I hope it's clear to everyone. I hope it is clear to everyone. So, there are two amendments here. First amendment is the slab of paid up capital is now from 50 lakh to 2 crores, and the second is the slab of turnover is now from 2 crores to 20 crores. I hope it's clear to everyone. So, if I recall the definition, if you try to recall, you can also do it. In fact, you should do it loudly. As per clause 85, a small company is a company other than a public company having a paid up capital which does not exceed how much 2 crores or such higher amount as may be specified, not exceeding 10 crores, and turnover as per the PL of the immediately preceding financial year not exceeding what? Not exceeding 20 crores or such higher amount as may be specified, not exceeding 100 crores. Provided nothing in this clause shall apply to a holding and a subsidiary company, a Section 8 company and a company governed by a special act. Is it clear to everyone? Is it clear? Arthaita, Arthmainda, Manesilayo, Buji Paisa, Buji Parila, Bujecho. Did you understand? Samajaya, Samajayo. I don't know anything after this. These are the only languages that I know. Is it clear to everyone? I hope it's clear to everyone. Now tell me one thing. I have a question for you. Is it that once I become a small company, I am for life a small company? Is it that once I become a small company, I am for life a small company? Is it that once I become a small company, I am for life a small company? The worst part is I have to keep looking at the messages. No, exactly, no. Please understand, it is not like mohabbat ek baar ho gayi to bas ho gayi. Nah. It is not like mohabbat ek baar ho gayi to ho gayi. You enjoy the status once, that doesn't mean you enjoy the status forever and ever. Listen carefully now. Let us say 2013-14. Okay, let us say 2013-14. My paid up capital is ayo, where did you get that convert from, huh? My paid up capital is 1.5 crores, seriously, and my turnover is 17 crores. Am I a small company? Guys, tell me, am I a small company? Yeah, thank you for all the replies. Am I a small company? Yes, I am a small company. In which year? 2014-15 I am a small. Why ma'am 14-15? Because when I say turnover, it is as per the preceding financial year. So last year financial year will give me status for this year, correct or not, right? So am I a small company in 2014-15? Yes. Now in 2014-15 my paid up capital is 1.5 crore, but my turnover is now 19 crores. Am I a small company? Am I a small company? Yes. And I am a small company for which year? 2015-16. Got my point? I am a small company for which year? 2015, because as per the preceding financial year. Now in 2015 and 16 my paid up capital is now 1.75 crores, but my turnover is now 22 crores. Am I a small company? Am I a small company? My paid up capital is 1.75 crores, but my am I a small company? No. No, I am just to explain you the concept. I am giving you this example. To explain you this concept of how you get the status, I am giving you this example. So I have to take it from previous years. That is why. Right? Right? I am just giving you from the previous years because I need to explain this concept. Okay? So that is why I have taken from 2013-14. Instead of 13-14, you can take it 2021-22. I have to go into the future. I was traveling to past. That's it. That is why. So is it a small company? No. So in 2016-17, it is not a small company. I hope Vijay Nand, I answered your question, right? Why I took those years. Now in 2016-17, again my paid up capital is 1.75 crores, but my turnover is now back to 17 crores. Am I a small company? Am I a small company? Please, in these years, this was not the figure, but I wanted to show you how the status changes every year. So I have taken it from those years. We could do a time travel to future also. So tell me, am I a small company? So in 2017-18, yes, I am a small company again. Did you understand how the status changes every year? Did you understand how the status changes every year? Yes or no? Yes, yes. Tisha, I hope you've understood it now. Will you solve one more question? Last question for the day. Yeah, so that is why I said no, it is not a small company. See, here I wrote not small company. Tisha, see, I wrote here no, not a small company. Right, I wrote it's not a small company for that year. Tisha, did you understand? So tell me, are you ready to solve one last question before we end the session today? Okay, thank you Sushma for replying. And did you understand? Sorry, one last question before we end the session today. Yes? One last question for the session. Chalo, tell me the answer to this. Got it, Disha? Chalo, great. So one last question before we end the session for the day. Yes, even I am ready. Even I am ready for you to solve this answer. Okay. San Industries Private Limited, so it's a private company, has its paid up share capital of 1.5 crores and turnover of 25 crores as per the last audited balance sheet. Examining the provisions of the Companies Act, decide whether the company shall be treated as a small company. What will be, or will it be a small company? No, because the turnover exceeds 20 crores, it cannot be a small company. So what would, so will it be treated as a small company? No. No. Now the turnover is 15. So when the turnover is 15 crores, the capital is 1.5, turnover is 15 crores. So in that case, can I say yes, it's a small company? Yes, because it fulfills both the criterias. Okay. The turnover is 15 crores and the company is governed by any special act. Well, in that case, it fulfills both the criterias. It does fulfill both the criterias, but it is governed by a special act. And when it is governed by a special act, no, it is not a private company. It is not a small company. Correct? The turnover of the company is 10 crores. So now the turnover is 10 crores and 57% of the total voting power of the company is held by Moon Industries Limited. Well, 57 held by Moon Industries Limited means Moon Industries Limited is the holding of San Industries Private Limited. Then can we say it is a small company? No, because a holding subsidiary is never a small company. Correct? I have just one change. If it was Moon Industries Private Limited, what then? If it was Moon Industries Private Limited, what then? If instead of Moon Industries Limited, it was Moon Industries Private Limited, what would be your answer then? Are you sure? No. Both are private. No, holding subsidiary, both are private. Even if both are private, but holding subsidiary, it is not private or public holding subsidiary. Any holding subsidiary, they will not get the status of a what? Any holding subsidiary will never get the status of a small company. Correct? I hope you were able to answer all the three questions. All the three questions that we discussed. I hope all the amendments were clear and you have notified all the amendments. Please do that. Please do not miss out on the amendments. I hope you have notified it. And I hope this session was helpful to you. If it was, then thank you. And I'll end the session here. Good night, sleep tight, study smart, keep studying, stay motivated. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.